Hello everyone, my name is Xiaojing, and today I'm going to present my pedagogy on the value of play-based learning in early childhood education. In this presentation, I will explain why play matters for children's learning, development, and well-being. I will share an example of a play-based experience, discuss my own philosophy and pedagogy, outline what makes a successful play-based learning environment, and finally talk about some common challenges and possible solutions. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the ancestors and the descendants of the lands upon which we work, meet, and study. I am mindful that with and without the buildings, the land always was and always will be our original land. A common concern from families is this question: are children just playing, or are they actually learning? So my response would be that play is not separate from learning. In early childhood education, play is one of the main ways for young children to learn. The early year learning framework states play-based learning as a key approach rather than something actual or optional. So when children are engaged in meaningful play, they are not only playing, they are learning through exploration, interaction, communication, and problem solving. Play plays a central role in early childhood education because it supports children's learning, development, and well-being. Through play, children can test ideas, explore possibilities, and solve problems. Play supports children's learning, development, and well-being across cognitive, social, emotional, physical, and language domains. So I see play as an effective way for children to learn rather than as a break from learning. This slide shows more specifically how play supports different developmental domains. The first one is in terms of cognitive development. Children think, predict, remember, and make decisions while they play. So second, in terms of language development, play provides natural opportunities for children to communicate with others and create shared meaning. Third, social and emotional development is strongly supported in play. Children learn how to cooperate, take turns, and development. Play also helps build confidence and a sense of belonging. Finally, physical development is also involved. So what is especially valuable is that play does not separate these areas. Instead, children often develop them all together in one meaningful experience. To be more specifically, I would like to give an example of a play-based activity, the pop-up community cafe. So in this activity, children work together to create a cafe in the classroom. They make menus, prepare food, take customer orders, serve meals, and manage the eating space. Some children may be chefs, some may be waiters, some may be customers, and some may organize the tables or payment area. These activities support language development and cognitive and mathematical development. It also supports social and emotional development. And finally, it supports physical development because children carry trays, around tables, handle food, and move around the space. This example also connects clearly to two theoretical perspectives. It links to social cultural theory because children learn through interaction and shared activity with others. It also links to critical theory, because the educator must think about inclusion, participation, and whether all children have fair access to rules and decision-making. My philosophy and pedagogy in practice. My personal philosophy is that play is the primary way for children to make meaning, build relationships, and express identity. I do not see play as a reward after real learning. I see it as an important context for learning itself. My pedagogy is strongly informed by social cultural theory. This means I believe learning happens through participation, interaction, and belonging within a community of learners. Children learn with and from others. My pedagogy is also informed by critical theory. This perspective reminds me to question taken for granted assumptions, notice who is included or excluded, and think about how curriculum decisions may affect children differently. I also connect this to a more classical constructionist view, which sees children as active meaning makers who build knowledge by exploring and engaging with their world. In practice, this means I plan open-ended experiences, observe children carefully, and step in intentionally when needed. I try to balance children's agency with educators' intentionally teaching method. A successful play-based learning environment includes physical, social, and temporal elements. Physically, the environment should be rich, flexible, and inviting. Socially, relationships are central. Children need warm, responsive, and respectful interactions with educators and other children. Children should feel safe. Temporarily, children need enough time. Play cannot always be rushed. So a successful play-based environment is not only about toys or activities. It is about designing physical space, relationships, and time in ways that support meaningful learning. Although play-based learning is valuable, there are also three challenges. So the first challenge is the misconception that play and learning are opposites. Some families may believe that academic learning only happens through formal teaching. The second challenge is the assumption that free play is always fair and inclusive. The third challenge is that play sometimes needs support. Children do not always automatically reach deeper learning by themselves. My solutions are: so first, I would make learning visible by regularly exchanging information between families and early childhood education care setting to encourage family involvement. Second, to provide guided participation and scaffolding when children need support. Third, I would communicate to families that play must be valued and protected because it is the fundamental right of the children. To summarize, play is a valuable and essential part of early childhood education. The Early Year Learning Framework for Australia recognized play as a right of the children, and play-based learning is also a powerful way to support children's learning, development, and well-being. My pedagogy is grounded in social cultural theory and critical theory. These theories help me understand play-based learning deeply. So overall, I think play-based learning is not just fun for children, it's also a really effective teaching method. My commitment as an educator is to create learning environments that are inclusive, safe, flexible, and responsive to each children's need. I also wanted to promote children's agency, participation, and inclusion in the program. In this way, my pedagogy is not only about supporting learning outcomes, it is also about supporting children's well-being and development. Thank you for listening. The final slide shows the references that inform my presentation. They include policy documents, theoretical tests, and research on play-based learning in early childhood education. Thank you again. I'm happy to answer any questions.